We are very happy to have you here. I will be super fast. Can you please tell us about your biggest passion today? What you like to do most of all?
My biggest passion in my life is actually young people coming up, being educated, being more freedom, ability to think freely, be creative. And there are a lot of forces in society everywhere you go that fight that.
By the way, one of the slogans, the main slogan of Apple is Think Different. We're right now in a co-working space. It's an innovative place for young entrepreneurs. Do you think that kind of places can stimulate, can force young minds to really think different?
Thinking different starts from when you're very young, and just an attitude of, oh, I don't mind doing things that are different than in the book. Schools tell you from the earliest ages, as long as you do everything right and answer every question the same as everyone else, you are smart. And that's a bad definition. Intelligence, what we call IQ, is a bad definition of real intelligence. Just wanting to learn new things, study things that are unusual, find out for yourself. That kind of learning is better than in schools. And then you grow up with a mindset. I want to create things. I want to make new things out of my own ideas. That want is more important than all the knowledge in the world.
About new things and new creators, what kind of startups you think are going to be in trend in the nearest future? In which field?
It's almost impossible to predict. If one could predict, oh, there are millions of people smarter than me about it. There are technology analysts. There are investors that would be putting all their money in and doing it. You never know for sure. It's a hard road. You take today's technology, you see what's happening at the physical level of atoms, you try to extend it and make something better the next year. Sometimes that's a route to what's going to be new, but it's very hard to modify. Something exists in the way you live your life, and you think, if I had a little adaptation, usually these days we start by thinking of apps on phones, apps on computers. If I had something new, I could do it better, and that's not the thinking we need. What we need is maybe there's a whole different way that we could have lived our life, had something that totally changes how we live our life, but it's more efficient. In the end, economics always wins. If it costs less or is easier, it always beats what was before.
My next question, I will quote you. You told that future is scary and very bad for people. If we're talking about artificial intelligence, and you are here actually supporting Elon Musk, Stephen Hawking, and if I'm not mistaken, Bill Gates as well, that we need to have some limits, some borders. Can you explain what is, because all industry was created to simplify people's life with artificial intelligence, but where is the border where we need to stop?
Yes, I misunderstood a little bit because for a couple of years, I reasoned out where the singularity would take us and artificial intelligence would replace our brains. And I became very scared, and I spoke like Stephen Hawking and Bill Gates and Elon Musk. And when they started speaking out, I said, see, others see the fears. And then I reversed my direction. I thought deeply, what has to transform in society? What has to change in the infrastructure? Everything leading up to even making products, even making robots. And we aren't close to artificial intelligence. I call it AI, I call it augmented idiocy. It's like a bunch of programs and steps that sort of make something do one task well, but we've never talked about a robot that says, a computer with artificial intelligence saying, what should I do next? What do I want to do? We've never gotten close to how to have a feeling to want to do new things. And then how would I go about it? No, we don't. That's not what we're calling artificial intelligence is just simulated intelligence. So I reversed myself. It is going to take at least decades, and some of the three that we were talking about have come back and agreed it's going to be a lot longer time frame. It's not going to be 5 years. With the singularity, we were talking 5 to 20 years. It's going to be decades before these machines can think for themselves. And once they hit the singularity, they program themselves, and it's no longer our control. That's where we can't predict the future. That's why it's called a singularity. You can't predict beyond it.
I see.
But I think that's 200 years off at least. See, people fear that, all these machines will take over and humans will have no role, and we will go back to some kind of lesser life. And for that to happen, machines would have to run everything in the world. One computer brain would have to tell other brains, what to build, and they'd have to go out and figure out the supplies and the sourcing and the economics and they'd have to send all these information machine to machine, right down to the machines that run out, robot machines that dig the ores out of the earth and get the materials to start preparing. Every step would have to be done by computers. You could see that would take hundreds of years to modify the infrastructure of the world.
Thank you very much. It was nice to meet you, and great honor and great pleasure to have you here in Ukraine in Coworking Platforma, waiting for your
Good. And I hope that technology always helps you and all the Ukrainians.
Thank you very much.